so the final, whatever, we got to that final 20 laps or whatever after that caution came out that Eric Jones actually ended up bringing out, whatever, who cares? And Ryan Blaney's running away with it. Cool.
I mean, just straight up dominating.
Dominating. There he goes. 3 seconds out of Denny Hamlin. Nobody's going to catch him. Whatever. So I was like, big deal. Whatever. Takes the white flag. Now, I didn't know about this rule either. I didn't hear about the rule that said that the race had to end under a green flag. Like I said, I didn't study the rules before the race because I could honestly care less because it's just the whole night is stupid that we have to completely have all these different rules every single year. We're going to change up the whole race. Whatever. Big deal. Remember a couple of years ago how you had like your average finish in each stage and blah, blah, this and that you had to have a PhD for like what was happening.
Right. I remember that.
I kind of stopped caring at that point. Ryan Blaney comes around, white flag. And right as he's crossing the line, the caution came out. But I was like, oh, okay, so he's already crossed the line, checker flag was out. I was like, okay, so I was so close to flipping the TV off. I was done. Like, okay, cool, race is over. I care less whatever happens after this. Right as I'm getting ready to turn it off, Mike Joy says, well, wait a minute. I don't think this race is over. And I was like, excuse me? And I'm pretty sure everybody else in their collective minds watching all across wherever you were watching went, what are you talking about, Mike Joy? What are you talking about? For real, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, this race doesn't seem to be over yet. Apparently, the caution came out. And from Ryan Blaney's point of view, if you're thinking of it from Ryan Blaney's point of view, you see that checkered flag. I'm not looking at anything else. If I see that flag man waving it,
I won the race.
Because the flag man pulls it back. Like Blaney's like what, within 50 to 100 feet of the line, probably. I mean, he's pulling it back. If I'm Ryan Blaney, I see him waving it one time, I'm not going to straight ahead again because it's a dog leg, man. I'm going to look down at the track. So he probably thought, oh, cool, I won the race. But then they want to go back and say, well, the caution lights came on right before he got to the line. So it looks like we're going to have another restart. And I was like, for what? And they're like, well, Ricky Stenhouse brought out the caution for a flat tire on the backstretch. Dude was moving still. He got passed by 2 cars. He wasn't in the way.
Yeah, he was completely out of the group. Now, see, here's what happened with from my point of view, because I watched it maybe 10, 15 minutes after you because I had to play catch up here. And a lot of time I just kind of fast forward
right,
because
not missing anything.
Ryan Blaney's in the lead. Okay, and there's racing going on in the back, but it doesn't matter because it's not a points paying race.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm pushing it forward and forward and forward. And then it comes up, you start texting on the text. NASCAR is this, NASCAR is that, NASCAR is this. And it just dogging NASCAR. And I'm like, okay, something happened that I haven't gotten into yet. So now the white flag comes out and it's like, I haven't seen anything happen. So I hit play and it's okay, let's watch the final lap. Ryan Blaney takes it and I hear caution. It's like, what's the matter? All right, the caution's out, but Ryan Blaney won. I'm thinking that. I'm looking at the format and the rules here, and it does say if no natural caution occurs between lap 15 and 25, in the final stage, NASCAR will call an all-star competition caution. It says nothing in here about the race ending under green.
Okay, see,
that's what I'm looking at right now. However, I'm with you. By this time, your race is over for you. I'm off of social media. I'm off of everything. And I see Ryan Blaney, and I'm sure you're going to talk about this too. Disconnect the window net.
Mm-hmm.
I won the race.
I won
$1 million. I won the All-Star race.
And you could even hear on his radio. They're like, oh, wait a minute. Race isn't over. He's like, are you kidding me?
Why are you kidding me? So now we go back to you because I'm kind of in the same boat too, just based on your reactions. Like, what do you mean the race isn't over?
When this caution came out. Came out. The first thing that immediately came to my mind was, here we go again with NASCAR's bull. God, I really want to say it so bad. With their bull.
I'm going to try to find it for you, buddy. Okay.
Their bull.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Their bull. They're trying to fabricate an exciting finish for something for the final stage that has been very lackluster and lame.
It was. And I felt like that too.
For some reason, all of a sudden, because Ricky Stenhouse has a flat tire on the backstretch and Ryan Blaney's coming to the checker flag, I'm sure the race director was like, where's that caution light? Hit it now. And literally, Blaney was within feet of the finish line. And all of a sudden, Mike Joy says, well, it goes by when the caution light comes on. And Ryan Blaney is literally right next to a caution light, which is right before the start finish line. Caution light comes on. Boom, caution's out. So you're telling me we're going to throw a caution within feet of the finish line? Oh, here we go.
Now to NASCAR's defense here, because you know me, I like to play defense here sometimes, and Charlie feels like that too. It's an all-star race. It is not a points-paying race. Had this been a regular points-paying race, doesn't matter where it is, and that caution came out, the leader already took the white flag. This was an all-star race where we want to see. It's not the norm.
I understand that, but I mean, he's already right there. I think, and I think there was a driver that brought up a good point or something saying we should have some kind of general rule set all across the board, whether it's a points-paying race or not, because it's kind of ridiculous that the whole thing transpired. Because
it was probably Denny Hamlin.
Once this happened, this made the night even more ridiculous. NASCAR would be remembered for this, but in a very stupid way. Let's put it that way. So I'm like, why are we throwing a caution? And that's my mind immediately went to it. I'm like, they're trying to fabricate this finish. They found a way to say, oh, you know what? Let's try and have a finish.
They got thrown a mulligan.
They were like, oh, we can quick hit that caution light for a flat tire. And that's what's really annoying me about the sport these days.
On the final lap.
A simple flat tire where somebody is still moving on the back stretch and 2 cars only needed to pass him. That's why I heard it was only 2 cars that only needed to pass him. That was it. He's not in the way, not in the racing line, whatever you want to call it. It'll be a cool down lap by the time we take a checkered flag. He's not going to be in anybody's way. Oh, we got to hit that caution light because we can make this a double file restart. That's where I saw where this is going. So then Ryan Blaney takes the window net down. And then we get the controversy. We're running pace laps. Are they going to bring him down pit road so you can put that window net back up? Well, he's trying to fix it in the car. And, I'm thinking to myself, he's not going to be able to put that window up by himself. We've seen it before in pre-race. There's always a crew member that's got to put it up because that thing is hard as crap to put up. And even Ryan Blaney said it. He's like, that thing is tough to even. My shoulder is going to be hurting in the morning because it's such a tough thing. He didn't get it properly secured. And this is where I get really annoyed with NASCAR as well. NASCAR wants to preach to the fans all day long about safety this, safety that, safety this, safety that. And guess what? I don't care if it was all-star race or not. They decided to go back green flag racing with a window net that was not properly secured. And they didn't want to bring him down pit road and put him right back in front.
I agree with that. And I agree with that because if they would have just brought him down, it's an all-star race. Yeah, it had been a regular points-paying race. You lost your position. You took the window net down. You pulled a Mark Martin at Bristol in the early 90s where he pulled into the pits a lap early under caution when they were finishing under caution. They could have just pulled Ryan Blaney in. Let's ensure his safety because Denny Hamlin brought up a lot of good points. Love or hate him, Denny Hamlin is now the spokesperson of safety. He is now the Jeff Burden. He is the mayor of NASCAR.
Right.
He took Jeff Burden's spot. And he brought up a lot of good points. Had anybody, not necessarily Hamlin, who finished second in that race, gotten into Blaney, or Blaney got caught up in an accident, blew a tire, one thing after another, the scenario list is endless, I feel. Had Ryan Blaney got involved in an accident and something entered the car or an arm flew out,
right?
You name it. Yeah. Something happened. NASCAR, I agree with this. NASCAR put entertainment over safety.
Exactly.
Safety should always be paramount. And ever since the death of Dale Earnhardt, safety has always been paramount. And Ryan Blaney is a rising star, if not one of the top stars right there, right behind Chase Elliott in NASCAR right now. Everybody loves him. I haven't heard one bad thing said about Ryan Blaney. I can say bad things about Chase Elliott, but I won't say anything bad about Ryan Blaney personally. And to put that risk on the NASCAR, on the Ryan Blaney, I get it. Yeah, it can't be easy putting a window net up.
I don't think he even got it.
He didn't get it up.
He didn't get it
up because
I
saw it just.
Yeah, it was flapping everywhere.
Flapping there. Under green flag conditions. The last time I saw that happen, and I think it was Ken Schrader at Talladega, it's like black flag him, bring him in. And this was a points-paying race, but bring him in. He's got to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR put entertainment over safety, green, white checker, 2 laps.
All for it to In the same way.
All for it to end the same way.
Ryan Blaney was gone again.
So I'm with Denny Hamlin on that. And I got this quote here from Ryan Blaney. They should have black flagged him, but it's an all-star race. To your point, Preston, put him back out front.
Right.
And let's see what happens. Don't change tires. You're not allowed to change tires. You fix that window net. If you change tires, you go into the back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what should have happened. Ryan Blaney said this in regards to Denny Hamlin voicing his opinion about this. He said, quote, I can understand where he's coming from, that being Denny Hamlin. But that's just a product of running second compared to winning. I could agree with that statement as well. I mean, Hamlin lost $1 million, especially in this economy. He'd be over the moon elated if he was in my position. I'd be ticked off just like he was if I was second. That's a quote from Ryan Blaney in regards to Denny Hamlin and the controversy that came up. Now, I agree with both.
Right.
And that doesn't happen much. You either agree with one or the other. You're either Team Blaney or you're Team Hamlin. It's very rare to see both, but I could see both scenarios there. I could see where Hamlin said, who cares about what happened? If something happened to Ryan Blaney, that's a lawsuit from Penske, from Menards, from whomever was associated with Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney himself, that's a lawsuit.
Right.
Ryan Blaney saying Denny Hamlin's just being a crybaby. He didn't win $1 million. He didn't win the All-Star race. I could agree with him too, because we've seen a lot of drivers, not just Denny Hamlin, saying, I lost a race. This should have happened. I should be in that position. Fair enough. What I don't agree with, back to NASCAR, is them saying at least come down pit road, fix the window net. If you change tires or add fuel or make any changes to that car, you're going to the back.
Yeah, exactly.
Fix the window net. You'll keep your position on track. At least then there won't be any question about it. Denny Hamlin fans and Joe Gibbs Racing fans would be up in arms. Oh, I can't believe they let him back in front of it. But it's an all-star race.
Yeah.
But I agree with that. I agree with both. Hey, Ramblin' About Racing Nation, like what you just saw, make sure to check us out at ramblinaboutracing.com and all your major podcast platforms for the audio version of the show. Or if you just like watching Ramblin' About Racing, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for upcoming episodes.